Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Dream Room. Have you ever looked at a shady corner of your home or garden and felt that something was missing? Maybe it is the narrow walkway beside the house, the quiet space under an old tree, the porch step that always feels a little empty, or the view outside your bedroom or home office window. You may have tried a few flowers, a small pot, some mulch, maybe even a little garden ornament, but somehow the space still does not feel finished. And if you are someone who loves decorating, arranging, and creating beauty in a simple way, you know this feeling very well. You do not always want a complicated garden. You may not want heavy digging, expensive materials, or plants that demand attention every single day. You want something peaceful, natural, easy to care for, and beautiful enough to make you smile when you walk past it in the morning. That is why today I want to talk about hostas in a different way. Not just as shade plants, but as living design pieces. After many years of working with home landscapes, small gardens, patios, quiet sitting corners, and cozy outdoor spaces, I have learned that the right hosta can change the feeling of an entire area. Some hostas brighten dark paths, some soften hard edges, some look perfect in containers. Some become bold focal points. And some are so unusual that guests stop and ask that. So today, we are going through 8 hostas I will always use after 25 years of landscaping, especially for real homes, small spaces, natural decor lovers, and anyone who wants beauty without stress. And before we begin, if you enjoy simple landscaping ideas, cozy home decor, and practical ways to make your home feel more beautiful, please subscribe to Dream Room. 1. June, the best starter hosta for a small, beautiful shade garden. Let's begin with a hosta I would recommend to almost anyone who is trying to make a shaded space feel more beautiful without making the project complicated. This one is called June, and to me it is one of the best first hostas for a real home garden. Maybe you have a small corner beside the porch, a narrow bed near the walkway, or a quiet patch outside your bedroom window where flowers never seem to last. June is perfect for that kind of space because it does not need to shout to be noticed. Its leaves have a glowing gold to chartreuse center, framed by soft blue-green edges, almost like someone carefully painted each leaf to match a peaceful garden room. What I love about June is that it instantly makes a space look designed. You do not need a huge yard. You do not need expensive stonework. You do not need 20 different plants. One healthy June hosta, placed beside bark mulch, a few smooth stones, a clay pot, or a simple solar lantern, can make a forgotten corner feel intentional. For viewers who enjoy decorating small spaces, this is important. A garden works just like a room. If every corner is empty, it feels unfinished. But if you place one beautiful piece in the right spot, suddenly the whole area feels calmer and more complete. June also works beautifully with morning light. If your shaded bed gets a little soft sun early in the day, the center color becomes brighter and warmer. It gives you that gentle glow many homeowners try to create with flowers, but with much less maintenance. So if you are new to hostas, or if you simply want one reliable plant that makes a small shade garden feel elegant, June is where I would begin. 2. Patriot, the white-edged hosta that brightens dark walkways. Now let's move to a hosta that solves one of the most common problems I see around real homes. Dark, narrow, shaded walkways that always look a little forgotten. This one is called Patriot, and if your garden needs a clean, bright edge, this is one of the first plants I would consider. Patriot has deep green leaves with wide, crisp white margins. That white edge is what makes it so useful in design. Even on cloudy days, even in low light, Patriot seems to show up clearly. It brings definition to places that might otherwise disappear into the background. Think about the side of your house, a shaded fence line, the steps leading to your porch, or a walkway that feels plain no matter how often you tidy it. Patriot can act almost like white trim in a room. Just as white molding can make a bedroom or hallway feel cleaner and more finished, Patriot can make a shaded garden border feel polished and intentional. This is especially helpful if you love simple decor but do not want clutter. You do not need too many garden ornaments when the plant itself creates structure. A row of Patriot hostas along a path can guide the eye gently, making the space feel organized without looking stiff. For viewers who want their garden to look tidy from the street, from the kitchen window, or from a small sitting area, Patriot is a very practical choice. It gives strong visual impact without relying on flowers that come and go quickly. So if you have a dark walkway, a shaded front edge, or a plain garden strip that needs brightness and order, Patriot may be the hosta that finally makes that space feel clean, calm, and complete. 3. Mouse ears. The tiny, tough hosta for containers and porch decor next. Let's talk about a hosta that proves a plant does not have to be large to make a space feel charming. This one is called mouse ears, and it is one of my favorite choices for small space gardens, containers, porch corners, and easy-to-manage displays. Many people watching may not have a big yard. Maybe you have a small patio, a balcony, a narrow side garden, a few porch steps, or just one quiet corner where you want something green and beautiful. Mouse ears fits perfectly into that kind of life. It stays compact, tidy, and friendly to work with. Its leaves are thick, rounded, and slightly cupped, giving it a soft, almost sculpted look. That thick leaf texture is also one reason mouse ears is known for being very resistant to slug damage. For anyone who has planted hostas before and found holes in the leaves the next morning, this is a very welcome advantage. From a decorating point of view, mouse ears is wonderful because it looks good up close. You can place it in a clay pot, a small ceramic bowl, a stone trough, or even a reclaimed wooden planter. It does not need a large bed to feel special. In fact, it often looks best when used where people can notice its tiny shape and neat form. This is especially helpful for older gardeners or anyone who prefers raised containers and easy-to-reach plants. You can enjoy the beauty of a shade garden without bending over a large border or maintaining a complicated planting scheme. So if you want something small, tough, sweet, and reliable for a porch, patio, or container garden, mouse ears is a little hosta with a surprisingly big design value. 4. Autumn Frost, the soft, elegant hosta for calm garden corners. Now we come to a hosta that feels gentle, refined, and peaceful. This one is called Autumn Frost, and it is perfect when you want a shaded corner to feel calm rather than crowded. Autumn Frost has blue-green leaves with frosted gold to cream-colored margins. In low light, those pale edges seem to glow softly, not in a loud way, but in the same way a cream curtain, a warm blanket, or a pale cushion can make a room feel more comfortable. That is why I like using this hosta in places where the goal is not drama, but relaxation. Maybe you have a small sitting area under a tree, a quiet patio corner, a garden bed outside your home office window, or a narrow border near the bedroom where you want the view to feel restful. Autumn Frost works beautifully in those spaces because it stays compact, tidy, and graceful. For people who love decorating with natural materials, this hosta pairs very well with bark mulch, aged wood, smooth stones, simple clay pots, and soft garden lighting. It does not fight for attention. It blends in and makes everything around it feel more thoughtful. This is also a good choice if you do not want a plant that overwhelms a small space. Some hostas become very large, but Autumn Frost keeps a more modest shape, making it useful for borders, containers, and small shaded beds. So if your goal is to create a quiet garden corner where you can sit, breathe, read, or enjoy a cup of tea, Autumn Frost is one of the hostas I would always consider. It brings softness, balance, and a peaceful finished look. 5. Stained glass, the golden hosta for morning sun and awkward light. Now let's talk about a hosta that helps solve a very common problem around the home. Those awkward spaces that are not full sun, but also not deep shade. This one is called stained glass, and it can completely change how a difficult corner feels. Many people believe hostas must stay in heavy shade all day, but stained glass proves that is not always true. Its bright golden center actually looks better when it receives gentle morning sunlight. That soft early light brings out the warm color in the leaves, making the plant look as if it is glowing from within. Think about the east side of your house, a porch entrance, a bed near a fence, or a small garden strip that gets sun in the morning and shade later in the day. These spaces can be frustrating because many flowering plants struggle there, but deep shade plants may not look their best either. Stained glass fits beautifully into that middle ground. From a design point of view, this hosta is useful because it adds warmth without needing constant flowers. If your garden feels dull, flat, or too green, stained glass brings a soft golden highlight, almost like turning on a lamp in a quiet room. For viewers who love decorating small outdoor spaces, this is a simple way to make a porch corner, walkway edge, or patio bed feel cheerful and more welcoming. Pair it with natural mulch, a few stones, or a simple bench, and the whole area begins to feel more finished. So if you have a spot with morning sun and afternoon shade, stained glass may be the hosta that turns that awkward light into one of the prettiest parts of your garden. 6. Sum and substance, the big golden anchor for a boring shade bed. Now we come to a hosta that is useful when a shaded bed feels too empty, too flat, or too unfinished. This one is called sum and substance, and it earns its place because it brings size, color, and strength all at once. In a small container, this would be too much. But in the right garden bed, sum and substance can be exactly what the space needs. It grows large, with broad, thick leaves that range from chartreuse to golden, depending on how much light it receives. That color can brighten a shaded area in a way that feels warm and natural. I like to think of this hosta the same way I think about furniture in a room. In a living room, you usually need one strong piece, like a sofa, to anchor everything else. Without it, the room can feel scattered. In a shade garden, sum and substance can play that same role. It gives the eye somewhere to land. This is especially helpful for viewers who do not want to plant dozens of small plants or constantly rearrange a garden bed. One strong hosta placed near a fence corner under a mature tree or behind smaller plants can make the whole area feel more organized. Another reason I value sum and substance is its thick leaf texture. In many gardens, that helps it stand up better to damage than thinner-leaved hostas. For homeowners who want beauty but also want reliability, that matters. So if you have a larger shaded bed that feels boring, empty, or difficult to decorate, sum and substance can become the golden anchor that gives the whole space shape, warmth, and quiet confidence. 7. Empress Wu, the living sculpture for a large empty shade corner. Now let's talk about the hosta that can completely transform a large shaded corner when it is given enough room. This one is called Empress Wu, and it is not a small accent plant, it is a living sculpture. Empress Wu is the kind of hosta you choose when you have one space in the garden that always feels unfinished. Maybe it is a deep corner under mature trees, a wide area near a fence, the back of a shaded sitting space, or a large bed where smaller plants simply disappear. In the right location, Empress Wu can become the main feature that holds the whole scene together. What makes it special is its size and presence. As it matures, the leaves become huge, textured, and deeply impressive. It does not need bright flowers or extra decoration to get attention. The shape of the plant itself becomes the decoration. But this is where patience matters. Empress Wu is not the kind of plant that gives its full beauty in the first season. In the beginning, it may look smaller than expected. But over the years, as the roots settle and the plant gains strength, it begins to show why gardeners love it so much. For viewers who enjoy watching a space slowly become more beautiful, this hosta is deeply rewarding. It is perfect for people who do not want to keep changing their garden every year, but instead want to build a peaceful landscape that matures gracefully. So if you have a large, empty, shaded corner and you want one unforgettable plant to give it structure, drama, and quiet elegance, Empress Wu may be the statement piece your garden has been waiting for. 8. Praying hands, the sculptural hosta that starts conversations. Finally, let's end with one of the most unusual hostas you can place in a shade garden. This one is called Praying Hands, and it earns its place because it does something very different from the others. Most hostas spread outward with wide, rounded leaves. They feel soft, full, and relaxing. But Praying Hands grows upright. Its leaves are narrow, folded, and vertical, almost like small hands held together. That shape gives it a sculptural quality that immediately catches attention. This is the hosta I would use when a garden already has plenty of soft plants but still needs personality. It works beautifully between broader leaf hostas, beside natural stones, near driftwood, or in a simple container where its unusual form can be seen clearly. For viewers who love decorating with handmade items, natural textures, old pots, wooden accents, and little pieces that make a space feel personal, Praying Hands fits perfectly. It is not just another green plant, it feels like a living decor piece. And because it grows more upright than many hostas, it can add structure without taking over a small space. That makes it useful near a porch, in a shaded patio corner, beside a garden bench, or even in a container where you want something quiet but memorable. What I love most about Praying Hands is that it creates conversation. Guests may walk past many plants without saying a word, but this one often makes them stop and ask, "What is that?" So if you want your shade garden to have character, contrast, and a little artistic surprise, Praying Hands is the hosta that brings the final touch. Conclusion: choose hostas like furniture, light, texture, calm beauty, and that is the real secret to using hostas well. You are not just buying plants, you are arranging a living room outdoors. A good shade garden needs balance, just like any beautiful room inside your home. You may need one plant to bring brightness, one to soften a hard edge, one to fill a container, one to guide a walkway, one to anchor a larger bed, and one special plant that makes people stop and look twice. June gives you a reliable starting point. Patriot brings clean white edges to dark paths. Mouse ears make small containers feel charming and easy to care for. Autumn frost adds softness and calm. Stained glass brings golden warmth to morning sun corners. Sum and substance gives strength to a boring shade bed. Empress Wu becomes the grand living sculpture. And Praying Hands adds that final touch of personality. So before you buy another random plant from the garden center, pause for a moment and look at your space like a designer. Ask yourself, what does this corner need? More light, more softness, more structure, more color? Or simply one quiet plant that makes the whole area feel finished? Because even a small porch, a narrow path, a shaded patio, or a little garden outside your bedroom window can become beautiful when you choose with intention. Now I would love to hear from you. Which hosta is your favorite? And which shaded area of your home are you trying to transform first? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please follow and subscribe to Dream Room for more simple landscaping ideas, cozy decor inspiration, and practical ways to make every corner of your home feel more beautiful.